Okay, so um, the last part of my tale was that we went to Bloemfontein to stay at the Hobbit Boutique Hotel, which was really cool. We kind of freaked out about all the Lord of the Rings paintings, and we stayed in the Galadriel suite, which had the painting of Taniquetil above my bed, and I was just like in love. But I had stopped short of my goal of reaching 1,000 students. Even with the extra two classes that I picked up in Cape Town, I was only at 930 students. And so I sort of desperately connected with as many people as I could to be like, okay, do you have any schools I could visit in 3 days? Because I was only in Bloemfontein for 3 days. Um, and I contacted Steve. I contacted the observatory in Bloemfontein and the planetarium, and they didn't manage to organize anything. But then I contacted Steve Sherman again from Living Maths, and he's like, I know some people at schools there, and so he connected me with someone from a school who connected me with the administrator of the school, and I managed in like a matter of hours to arrange to see almost all of the students at the Kuro Primary School in Bloemfontein the morning on the very last day before I had to fly to Johannesburg to fly home. Um, and so I managed in the morning to see almost the entire school. We arranged with the administrator that we would do um, two big groups of the grade three and fours, and then five, six, sevens. And it would have to be outside because the high school students were taking their end year exams in the hall. And I was like, okay, well, it's a beautiful day. We're literally in the desert. Let's go outside. And they had this big shaded area where they could have, which was so beautiful, to have like outdoor assemblies, I guess, just under some shade. And we did the solar system lesson twice, and for the first class, the grade threes and fours, there was one kid who already knew basically everything, and he also volunteered to be like I think Venus or something. So he was always up front, and maybe he was Earth or the Moon actually. I can't remember, but he would just be like, "I have a fact," and I'd be like, "Okay, let me tell my fact first, and then you can tell your fact." And he was just basically helping me run the whole session, and it was really amusing because he just like would come up to me every time I'd be like, and then this one is Titan. He'd be like, I have a fact. And I was like, okay, tell me your fact, and tell everyone the fact. And it was really beautiful to have somebody who's already super into it. And to get every kid the I love doing the big groups, but the problem is every kid wants to be involved, and there just isn't enough pieces, and there isn't enough time. And so like they're all like desperately, oh, me, and I really have a really hard time choosing between like who looks like they want it the most, or who is the most chill, or who is, you know, I don't know. I never know how to choose. So I'd be a terrible teacher. But in the end, I sometimes I try to go for like some balance, like make sure that it's like it's girls and boys, and like the different races of kids, and do my best, tall and short and whatever I can manage. But they were so into it. And then the bigger kids, there were some who were really into it and some who were like a bit cool. It's how it goes with teenagers. But um, in the end, they started to get into it because I was like, oh, I don't have anybody from over here. I should pick somebody. Some kids like forced their friend, they hold his hand up, they forced their friend to be someone. I was like, okay, I guess you. Um, but they got kind of the extra, the bigger kids got the kind of extra information about astrobiology and exoplanets and everything, and then they started to get more interested. I think they were kind of over the solar system, because they do a little bit about it in school, um, and so they were like, oh, there's other planets and there might be aliens, and this is how you get kids, I swear. This is how you make them listen. And in the end, it was I was in a hurry, but I managed not to be in too much of a hurry. We did have a nice time. They put it on their Instagram, just some pictures of me and the kids, and I got a couple of, well, I always get like love and hugs from the kids, and I really do appreciate it. I think that's what I'm going to miss the most. Coming back home is like, I've never moved any Dutch kids enough that they were excited to give me a hug. Unless it's like a cultural thing. I don't know. It could be. Um, but it, for me, represents, that they're grateful, and that they actually made a connection. And making a connection is like the biggest thing that I want to do. So with that school, I got 220 more, which makes about, so it was 950, 10, 1150, 1,150 students that I directly taught in 1 month this summer. And I'm really pleased with that. I'll do sort of an overview video when I'm done processing all my feelings about it. But for now, that was my trip. In the end, we went to Johannesburg. We stayed at the Lesedi cultural experience, which was so cool because it talked about all the different, not all the different cultures, 5 of the different local cultures and some of their languages and history, and that was amazing. And then we flew home, and getting home was weird because we'd been changing locations so often. It's really weird to be somewhere familiar where things don't change. Um, but that was the end of my big adventure. And so I do still need some funding. So if people are interested in donating, the GoFundMe is still open, and I'm either going to be in a horrific amount of debt, or we're going to need to share this kind of a lot. So thanks for coming with me on this voyage, guys, and hopefully I get the opportunity to do it again someday. Bye.